16th of March 2008, Manavgat, south of Turkey. Prelude of the 2008 Nissan UCI Mountain Bike World Cup. It is the first UCI World Cup race in Turkey. The course for the women's competition in Manavgat is 78 kilometers long and fairly flat on the first 8 kilometers. The marathon on the Turkish Riviera is the first out of 18 races in the disciplines marathon, cross-country, downhill and 4-cross. Half an hour after the women start, the men gather for kickoff. Off you go. The male riders have to overcome 90 kilometers in distance and 800 meters of altitude difference. After 6 kilometers, the field arrives at a bridge in the small town of Naras. At that time, the bikers are still close together. Only 2 or 3 athletes at a time can pass the narrow jumper. In the meantime, Italian biker Annabella Stroparo is leading the women's competition to the ruins of Seleukeia, followed by Pia Sundstedt just a few seconds behind on second place. It is the first steep climb of the course. The antique city on top of the mountain was initially built to protect Side from enemies. Nowadays, it is a popular tourist attraction and a nice scenery for the World Cup. It is most unlikely, though, that the riders enjoy the historical landscape. The antique city is followed by a single trail. The forest of Yanginkules is well known for its pine trees. By now, Pia Sundstedt has taken the lead. It is only 12 kilometers into the race, and the duo Sundstedt-Stroparo is already dominating the female competition. After half an hour, the men's competition reaches the old city. And indeed, it is Karl Plath who is making the pace. Behind him, last year's winner Thomas Dietsch. Some riders in the midfield have problems with the rocky underground. Just when the leading group arrives at the aqueduct, it is Colombian rider Caro Silva whose chances of victory get instantly reduced to the minimum. At kilometer 38, the women reach the feed and technical assistance zone. Team members hand over refreshments to the riders. It is still Pia Sundstedt who is holding the lead. When the men get to the feed and technical assistance zone, the leading group has expanded slightly. Amongst them are Nakata, Dietsch, Martinez and the team riders Sam and Plath. Shortly after their feed and technical assistance zone at the Oimpina Dam, the women's competition turns left and takes a shortcut, while the men turn right and head the strenuous barrage climb. On the way to the highest point of the course, Frenchman Miguel Martinez impressively takes the lead. Thomas Dietsch cannot follow and positions himself into second. Alban Lakata from Austria gets into third. Karl Platt and Stefan Sam fall back on fourth and fifth place. After the exhausting barrage climb, the order has not changed. Martinez is the first to go downhill. The Olympic champion of the year 2000 leaves his compatriot behind. Behind Dietsch follows Lakata and the duo Platt-Sam. On this part of the course, riders gain speed up to 50 kilometers per hour. Power, good brakes, and as well audacity are of great necessity. Back to the women's competition. It is a nip-and-tuck race between Pia Sundstedt and Annabella Stroparo. Only 11 kilometers to go. Far behind follows Esther Süß, and shortly after, Janka Stevkova on fourth. After exactly 3 hours, 28 minutes and 16 seconds, Pia Sundstedt crosses the finish line and wins the first UCI World Cup race of the season. Only 5 seconds later, Italian Annabella Stroparo arrives. Back to the men's race. In the valley of Sigicula, Miguel Martinez stands his ground and defends the pole position. The order behind him has not changed either. Dietsch still in second, Lakata in third, followed by the team Platt-Sam. Just less than 15 kilometers to go, and suddenly the bike of leading Miguel Martinez does not go well anymore. Closer look shows why. A flat tire destroys his hopes for victory. By then, the Frenchman had 2 minutes advantage. Thomas Dietsch doesn't gas twice and takes over the lead. Miguel Martinez's flat tire puts Lakata into second and Platt and Sam into third and fourth rank. The last climb for Thomas Dietsch. Only 7 kilometers left to the city of Manavgat. After 3 hours, 38 minutes and 54 seconds, Thomas Dietsch crosses the finish line and secures the first UCI World Cup victory this season. "21 seconds behind Austrian Alban Lakata finishes second. 2.5 minutes later, friends and team colleagues Karl Platt and Stefan Sam are crossing the line together. A few thousand people in Manavgat get together for the award ceremonies. First place and 250 World Cup points for the winner of the women's competition, Pia Sundstedt. Annabella Stroparo on second earns 200 points, and third, Esther Süß, still collects 160 points for the World Cup season. Great interest as well at the men's ceremony when winner Thomas Dietsch enters the podium. Thomas Dietsch, Karl Platt and Alban Lakata receive a well-deserved warm applause from the Turkish audience. The next UCI Marathon World Cup takes place on the 5th of October in Ornans, France.